So it's spooky season, and that means ghost stories and creepy tales. In every genre and in every fandom, there are these stories, so it shouldn't be too much of a stretch of the imagination to find out that there is a horror story based in the Star Wars universe. I know. Horror and Star Wars are just two things that don't really seem to go together, but this time, well, it really does work. The story is Death Troopers by Joe Schreiber, and because I listened to it rather than actually read it, the narrator of this audiobook was Sheen Kennan. Don't laugh at me, okay? Sometimes it's easier for me to listen than read, especially when I'm having a dyslexic episode and can't read, but that's a completely different story for a completely different time. When I tell you this is a story of zombies in space, family bonds and redemption, you'd probably get completely the wrong picture of this story. Yes, zombies in space sounds pretty cool in theory, but after years of zombies being so mainstream, they just aren't as scary anymore. However, this isn't where the real horror of this story comes in. Of course, later on it's creepy, but this really starts off slow. A creeping tension that becomes suffocating as the characters become more and more isolated. You see, sometimes the horror is in the spreading of the disease and the breakdown of society, no matter how already debased that society already is. This story starts off on a penitentiary ship run by the Empire, where two brothers and their father were wrongly imprisoned for being part of the rebellion. It doesn't really matter that this isn't the case though, and while they are being taken to the planet where they will be used as slave labour, their ship becomes damaged. As luck would have it, there is another abandoned Imperial ship floating through space that has some parts that they need to be able to get where they need to go. I never said that their luck was particularly good, however, as once the parts have been retrieved, the away team also brings back an invisible illness that quickly starts to spread throughout the ship. Things start to go downhill from here, and eventually their own ship is down, out, and fully infected. They have to find another way to escape, and so they return to the science ship to get away, as it turns out that this ship has been drawing in other, smaller ships for years. I'm not going to say much more at this point, as everything after this is pretty much spoilers. There is some amazing writing in this novel, and other than the introduction of two characters literally thrown in to try and bind the story to the main galaxy of Star Wars, it was a really wonderful read. I especially enjoyed the audiobook of this. There were some very good SFX sounds and were just so atmospheric and vividly illustrated what was being said. There was even a point I just had to put my dinner down as some of those sounds just activated my squick gland. Don't ask me what one of those is, I really don't want to have to explain it. I highly recommend this for a read or even a listen if you happen to have Audible. It's perfect for this time of year and just a thing if you want that horror itch but also want it to be Star Wars based. There is also another book in this series called Dark Harvest. However, I'm not sure on that book. I've had a lot of mixed reviews, both good and bad. I may give it a listen, I may give it another review. But as always, thank you so much for joining me on this October journey. And I hope to see you next time. Take care, have fun, and goodbye!